shots, and of course the shot blocking, rim protecting side of him, 1.5 blocks per game. So a tough loss for Sean Logan and the Wildcats, but the Wildcats going once again with Zach LAPUT going a smaller lineup, him at the 4.
And the Cats win the opening tip here at Belk Arena. We're underway. They're dressed in all whites against all navy blues for Duquesne as Bailey hands off to Locknane. Starting 5 for Duquesne: Dinkins, Crawford, Dixon, Corbett, and Beret. The Cats with the same starting 5 we've seen in their last 4: Bailey, Durkin, Locknane, LAPUT, and Kuchera. Durkin with 8 to shoot. Back for a 3 by Kuchera. Off the back iron and rebounded by Chibi Beret, junior forward from Benin. Alex Dinkins between the circles, transfer from Canisius. Finds Beret on the lane. He's watched by LAPUT at the top to Crawford. Now to David Dixon, backing in on Bailey. Took too many steps, and Duquesne turns it over.
Dixon was one of the returners. Was a key player on last year's team and had been coming off the bench recently. It had told Coach Joyce, I think I'm better coming off the bench, but he's in the lineup today.
One of the better rim protectors in the A-10, tied for 7th in program history with 105 blocks as Bobby Durkin sinks the triple from the right wing to break the ice here at Belk Arena.
Durkin shooting 46% from 3, best in the A-10 among guys who have hit at least 20 shots, and once again, really dialed in early here for Davidson.
Locknane tries for the steal, but it goes out of bounds past Coach McKillop. Stays with Duquesne. Durkin's been an excellent three-point shooter, 45% entering the day. That's the top percentage in the A-10 for a player with at least 40 three-point attempts. Dinkins inbounds and just gets it into Dixon. Hands it back to Dinkins. Now over for Crawford. Back to Dinkins. Dinkins tries to drive into the paint. Dinkins with the up and under layup, couldn't get it to go. Bailey can't handle the rebound, and the Dukes able to reset. Dinkins fakes the 3 as he's watched by Bailey, then feeds it along the baseline to Crawford. Crawford's double team, lost the ball, but then retains possession, but still has it on the dribble. Managed to get outside the arc. It's Corbett. Corbett turns around with a floater. That's no good. Rebounded by Dixon. Another chance in this possession for the Dukes. Dixon backing in on Bailey, spins around, feeds in the paint to Corbett. Corbett gets it to go, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line for one more.
Corbett's one of the top players for the Dukes, and that time finds his way near the basket, gets the lay-in and the foul.
So Corbett now go to the line after the foul is called on Bobby Durkin. Does not make the free throw, and Durkin corrals the rebound. Corbett only a 40% free throw shooter, and he shows why right there. The Cats retain the lead despite the three-point play opportunity. Durkin at the top of Locknane. Durkin look for a second 3. Give it to him. 2 threes for Bobby Durkin.
That seems to be his spot, Paul. Pretty good. Once again, Durkin squared to the basket. Good stroke. Makes it look easy.
Durkin making his 32nd straight start. And he begins that start with a pair of three-pointers to give Davidson a 4-point lead. Now it's Dinkins. He's watched by Bailey. Dinkins tries to dribble past him, spins around at the line, back to Crawford. Crawford uses the screen from Corbett. We'll call that a 3. It's no good, and Bailey skies for the rebound in front of Corbett. Bailey spins around at the top, underneath the Durkin. Durkin fell down, and they call a late foul. Unless they're saying it was out of bounds. Nope, it is a foul, and it's called on Cam Crawford as first. Dukes were hoping for a travel, didn't get the call. Say Durkin fell down because of the contact. Beret will take a seat. And Matusz Wronski, junior from Slovakia, onto the floor for the first time for the Dukes. Inbound to Locknane. Hands off to Bailey, back to Locknane. Over to Durkin. Durkin tries to attack into the paint. Durkin with the layup that rattles out, and the board for Dixon and the Dukes. Ahead to Dinkins in front of the Davidson bench. Bailey charges towards him to Crawford. Back cross court for Dinkins. Dinkins matched up against Kuchera. Hands off to Corbett. Corbett mid-range jumper. Rattles out. Durkin tries the long rebound, went off of his hands, and to Duke. In front of the scorer's table, it goes back to the Cats.
Multiple Cats crashing the boards that time. Durkin has been a guy really picking up some of the slack with Logan out. Had a double-double a while back with 10 boards. Had 9 boards recently.
Player, it's been a big benefit of Logan leaving the lineup is LAPUT, who just had that inbound. As Kuchera goes to the basket and couldn't get the runner in. Dukes take it the other way. Crawford transition 3, and he puts the Dukes within 1.
Good looking shot in transition. Tough shot.
Now here's Kuchera into the corner. Bailey back to Kuchera on the wing around to LAPUT. LAPUT tries to drive past Dakins. Avoids the walk. Bounce pass back to Bailey. Hands off to Lockney. Mid-range jumper slashes down for Lockney. He's on the board to put the Cats up by 3.
Not the typical shot you see from Lockney, a pull-up shot. Typically a set shot guy, but
not only that, he favors the 3 ball as well. He's done well in his limited 3-point attempts. 17 of 34 this season. That was a long 2. Good pass to Corbett, and he lays it in off the nice feed from Trey Dinkins. Now Bailey into the front court, gets Ronsky, kicks it out for Kuchera. Corbett keeps an eye on him. LAPUT with the 3. That was in and out, and Dukes take it the other way with a chance to take their first lead of the afternoon. It's Dinkins at the top. Over to Corbett. Dixon comes in for the screen on the pick and roll, doesn't use it. Now Cameron on the wing, watched by LAPUT. Cameron backs up a little bit. We'll run another play. It's Dinkins. Dixon sets up the screen on another pick and roll attempt. It's a corner 3 for Corbett, and he nails it. Give the Dukes their first advantage.
He's got all but 3 points for Duquesne so far. Corbett having a good year and showing up once again this Saturday.
Transfer from Chicago State, who's the only Duke who has made a start in every one of their 15 games this season, including today. He's got 7 of the Duke's 10 points, as JP just said. Now Bailey spins around in the low post with the hook shot. Many times a game with a kiss.
Reed Bailey really battling with Dixon down low throughout this early part of the game. That time finds a little seam, and now Davidson settling into a 1-3-1 zone.
1-3-1 is something we've seen quite a bit. Ronsky tries to beat the zone with the 3, couldn't. Bailey gets the rebound, but couldn't keep the speed position off the rebound. He's called for the travel. It'll be Duke's basketball out of the timeout. All square at 10. Almost 6 minutes in here inside Belk Arena, the home A-10 opener for the Cats. To the A-10 tournament last March after the top 4 seeds were eliminated in Brooklyn. It set up a 5-6 matchup between VCU and Duquesne. And Duquesne, by winning that game, went to the big dance for the first time since 1977. Beat BYU in the round of 64. Now they're tied at 10. Inbound goes for a corner 3 for Crawford to hit the side of the backboard. And the Cats will take possession with Kuchera. At the top for Adam, who checked in during the timeout. Back to Kuchera. Again, hands off to Adam. Fakes the give with Durkin. Now Durkin will take it at the top. Durkin down the lane. Gets double teamed as Wilburn comes in on him. And it looks like they're going to call the foul rather than a tie-up. Foul is called on Eli Wilburn, the transfer from St. Francis University. During the timeout, Wilburn and Rozier came in for Dinkins and Dixon. Lockney left for Davidson. We've called Hunter Adams' name a few times already. He'll get it off the inbound from Bobby Durkin. Over to Kuchera. Watched by Corbett. Now Bailey tries to drive baseline. He's cut off by Wilburn. Still trying to come in, and foul is called underneath. And if that's on Wilburn, that's 2 quickies. And it is. Wilburn with 2 fouls in less than 20 seconds of game action.
Became very physical defensively. They're going to go right back at Wilburn again.
Bailey takes advantage with the lefty bunny right in front. Puts the Cats back on top, 12-10 over Duquesne.
Bailey's really good facing the basket like that, dribbling, causing mismatches.
led the Cats with 20 points in their Atlantic 10 opener against George Mason on New Year's Eve. Now here's Rozier, over for Crawford. Crawford with the bounce pass to Wilborn. Misses on the layup, gets the second chance, makes good on it. The Sky tie the score 12. Duke showing off a little bit of pressure as it's inbounded to Durkin and hand off to Kuchera. It'll take it up the floor as the Dukes start to back off. Kuchera to the front court. Watched by Corbett at the top for Durkin. Bounce pass to LAPUT. Another bounce pass to Bailey. Whips it over to Kuchera. Three on the way. It's an air ball. And scooped up by Crawford. Dukes take it the other way with the score tied at 12. And Corbett with the reverse lays it in. He continues a strong start. 9 points for Deshaun Corbett.
Really good at attacking today. Just saw a seam and went baseline. Found an easy bucket.
Now it's LAPUT at the top. Tried to drive. He was cut off by Corbett. Hand off to Bailey. Bailey jabs, then starts to attack. Spins around. A turnaround shot. Off the bracket. And Corbett the board for the Dukes. Of immediate timeout in the next dead ball. Wronski thought about the three, then starts to drive. Kicks it out for a corner three for Crawford. That's his second three. Crawford gives the Dukes a 5-point lead. Coach McKillop's seen enough. He'll call a timeout. Dukes on a 7-2 run. Lead at 17-12. In November, in the month of December, 11.4 rebounds and 7.3 rebounds a game. And continuing to run into some good form here at Belk Arena today. Already close to a season average of 9.6 points per game with 9 here in this one. LAPUT exits the game. Roberts Blooms is in for Davidson. Crawford and Wilborn out for Duquesne. Beret and Edwards check in. That's Maximus Edwards, a familiar name to A10 fans as he played for George Washington the last 2 years. Now it's Durkin on the wing. Between the circles to Blooms. Blooms using the screen from Adam. Now Bailey. Bailey hands off to Kuchera late in the shot clock. Kuchera all the way to the basket, couldn't get it to go. And the rebound to Edwards. Wronski into the front court. Over to Edwards, he's watched by Kuchera. Cats here to switch to a man-to-man here. Corbett around to Edwards. At the top for Rozier. Rozier over to Corbett. Corbett spins around through traffic. Lefty shot, twirls through, and Corbett already with 11. We're almost at the midway point of this first half.
Time a good foul by Kareem Rozier, one of the returning players for this Duquesne team. Kind of a heartbeat guy for them.
There's a block by Beret against Bailey at the rim. Chubby Beret with a 7'4 wingspan, using it to his advantage against Bailey.
Beret making his presence known. He affected that last shot by Kuchera as well. He's just there as a rim protector. Going to alter some shots and block other ones.
Davidson trying to wipe out this 9-0 run. Here's Blooms over for a corner three by Adam, and that will end the run as Adam gets on the board with the three, coming off of a season-high 11 points against George Mason.
And Hunter Adam, these are important minutes for him as well. With Sean Logan out, he's one of those versatile pieces that can play in the post and on the wing.
Now Rozier matching up against Blooms, continuing to cross over. Leaves it for Edwards. Step back three on the way. That's in for Maximus Edwards. Duquesne on fire out of the gates from three-point land. They're 4 of 7 from downtown.
That was a really tough shot, but it fell for Edwards.
And he answers the three from Adam. Now Blooms, can we have another three? Not that time. And Rozier takes it to the front court for Duquesne. Trying to blow past Durkin. Leaves it back for Edwards. Edwards drives baseline. Reverse in for Edwards, who's got 5 straight for the Dukes.
Dukes are doing a really good job just attacking, getting to the basket. They're finding some openings. Davidson going to have to tighten up a little bit.
It's a 14-3 run for Duquesne as Blooms over for Kuchera, fakes the three, over for Adam in the low post, as pass swat away by Beret. The Dukes take it. Here's Rozier. Dukes with a 9-point lead across to Edwards. Now to Corbett. Wronski. Three on the way, and why not? Matt McKillop calls another timeout. And the Dukes, no stopping them right now. 5 of 8 from three-point land. A team that entered the day averaging 42.7% from the field.
I think what's helping Duquesne right now, finding really good quality shots. They've hit some tough shots as well, some step backs, but that three by Ronsky there, some things closer to the basket by Corbett. Duquesne just seems to have found what it wants offensively. Let's see what kind of adjustments the Wildcats can make.
Now Bailey to LaPut. Manny Joseph checked into the game for the first time and not been available the last 2 games for Davidson. Good to see him out on the floor for the Cats. Bailey's able to handle that pass after it almost went out of bounds. Turns around and gets the layup in, +1, as Beret gave him just a little bit of contact to be called for the foul, and a 3-point play opportunity on the way for Reed Bailey.
Bailey going to work. He's been really good at this, just methodical, getting to the basket, playing through contact, finishing and going to the line. He's pretty good at the foul line as well.
That's the first for Beret. And Bailey to the free throw line, and he sinks the free throw. 75% foul shooter. Now leads the way with 7 points for Davidson. They cut the deficit to 9. Corbett. To Rozier. Launches a pass to Edwards. Bounce pass to Rozier. Now underneath, there's Beret, and he lays it in. Got the mismatch against Durkin and made him pay.
Beret really impacting the game in a number of ways, both ends. And that time a good find by Rozier.
Rozier's had a couple of nice assists in this one. Duquesne back up by 11. This is Kuchera. Over for Bailey, drives baseline against Beret. And contact underneath the hoop. If that's on Beret, that'll be his second. We'll try and sort it out after this media timeout. The Dukes, a great effort on the road so far. Lead it by 11. Look good to do even better than that. 5 of 8 from the field so far at 62.5%.
2 from Crawford, 1 from Edwards, 1 from Ronsky, and 1 from Corbett. So spreading it around as well. But Duquesne right now just getting really good shots wherever the Dukes want them. Inside the paint, outside the paint, and around the perimeter.
Shooting 63% as a team, by the way. That foul that led into the timeout was on Rozier, his first, rather than what would have been Beret's second. Davidson with the ball. LaPut all alone, fires the 3 and makes the triple. Mac LaPut with Davidson's 4th three-pointer.
That time Kuchera with the pass from the top of the key down to the left wing, and a good shot by LaPut.
Now it's Edwards. Joes has kicked the ball. They let the play continue, though. Corbett back for a corner 3 by Crawford, and he leaves it short. And Kuchera the board for Davidson. Looked to string together back-to-back points for the first time in a while.
Good job by the freshman Manny Joseph getting out and affecting the pass and then affecting the shot.
Now LaPut. Kuchera corner 3. Davidson's got 5 triples now. As Kuchera's on the board with his first field goal of the afternoon, and Davidson cuts to within 5.
So we saw Kuchera find LaPut for 3, and that time LaPut finds Kuchera for 3, and the Belk Arena crowd is on its feet.
Both teams now 5 of 9 from beyond the arc. And Joseph gets called for the kickball that time. It'll stay with Duquesne and 20 seconds on the shot clock.
And if you're Matt McKillop, you can live with that. Joseph is coming in and making an impact and disrupting this Duquesne offense, and that's what you're looking to do if you're Davidson. Just disrupt them, get them out of rhythm. They're shooting at a very high percentage right now, higher than normal. Anything you can do to kind of cause some chaos is what you want to do.
Now here's Crawford. Joseph knocks it away into the hands of LaPut. Ahead to Durkin. Durkin against Crawford. Durkin trying to find some space. Tenacious D here from Crawford. Kuchera thought about the 3, then starts to drive. Now he backs up a little bit. Nice crossover against Dixon, and a foul is called on Duquesne away from the ball. And they call it on Trey Dinkins. That's his first. Kareem Rozier checks back in, and he's been terrific during this 4-game win streak. 10-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio in the last 4 games.
Really good.
Also really good for Davidson is Zach LaPut. He's got his second 3, and this crowd is fired up. Davidson on a 9-0 run. Duquesne only up by 2.
3 straight possessions. Davidson has hit 3-pointers, and now Duquesne wants to talk it over.
So Drew Joyce III will call a timeout, and we'll keep it right here as the crowd has come to life here after a bit of a slow start for Davidson. What had been a 12.
Make this a 2-point game once again.
Doing it all with 3-pointers. Kuchera and LAPUT have factored in every one of them. 2 threes by LAPUT, assisted by Kuchera, and a Kuchera 3 assisted by LAPUT. So it's the Dukes with the ball. Corbett has led the way with 11 points for the Dukes. Finds Dinkins, now bounce pass to Dixon, backing in against Bailey. Dixon spinning around, the hook shot swirls in. 10-9 run.
Good answer by the Dukes that time. Dixon, a veteran player. Nice looking hook shot. Just kind of calms the Dukes down a little bit offensively.
Now it's LAPUT. LAPUT. And he draws the foul. Came in hard underneath. Tried to find Kuchera. But the contact draws the foul against David Dixon, his first.
LAPUT is never going to be a guy where you question effort. And that time just really driving hard to the basket and was trying to pass it out to the corner. Kind of surprised here, Paul, they're giving him 2 shots on this.
Well, no, this is actually, they put him over the limit, so this is 1-1.
You're right. My bad.
LAPUT will go to the line. That's the 7th foul on Duquesne. And he will get the bonus free throw after making the front end. 8 points for LAPUT. He's made the most of his starting opportunity. He's averaged 12 points in his 3 starts since entering the lineup. It's above his season average of 8.4 points. Does not make the second free throw as it rattled out. Now the Dukes quickly the other way. But a foul is called on the baseline against Rozier. And it's looks like Connor Kuchera called for the foul. That'll be his first. Rozier set to toss it back in. And they call a foul before the inbound on Reed Bailey. That'll be his first. Rozier will throw it back in. And he finds Dixon. Hands it back off to Rozier. Cross court to Dinkins. Thought about the 3. Durkin matches up against him. Now he steps back for the 3. That's no good. And Bailey the rebound for Davidson. Opportunity for the Wildcats to tie the game. Kuchera at the top. Now LAPUT trying to call for some motion. Bailey setting up a screen. And Bailey receives. Bailey into the paint. Tosses up a shot that's short. And he'll go to the line for a pair after drawing the foul.
Bailey backing in and Dixon coming over to help. Bailey's been fouled or has attempted as many free throws as anyone in the conference, 12th nationally.
And he's been a pretty solid shooter from the free throw line. Entered the day at 74.8%. That foul on Dixon was his second, so Chabi Beret back into the ball game as Dixon will take a seat. Second on the way for Bailey. That's good. For someone that is always in the post, trying to get dirty and get those points. Very critical that he's been a good free throw shooter this year for Davidson.
Yeah, Bailey is an all-around player, and he's finding ways to cause mismatches, whether he's facing the basket or backing into it. And like you said, if you're going to get fouled, you have to hit enough of those shots to make it worth your while, and Bailey's done that.
Now Duquesne with the basketball with a 1-point lead, led by as many as 12 in this one. It's Rozier, watched by Kuchera. He drives against Kuchera, puts up a shot high off the glass. No, and LAPUT scoops it up for Davidson. Opportunity to take the lead for the first time since the 12:59 mark. Hurlbert, who checked in during that whistle. Durkin straight on 3. Falls short. And Beret the rebound for Duquesne. Here's Crawford. Beret was left all alone for a moment. Zed finds Ronsky. Ronsky to the rim. Over Manny Joses, and he lays it in.
Strong take that time by Ronsky, going off the dribble. We saw he could knock down the open shot that time, going to the basket.
The Dukes back up by 3. Now it's Hurlburt over to LaPut. Spots up for 3. That's short. And Dinkins corrals it for Duquesne. Quickly ahead to Ronsky, who thought about the 3, then started to attack. Leaves it back for Crawford. Bounce pass to Ronsky in the corner. Peels away from Hurlburt. Now Dinkins around the arc for Rozier. Long 3 for Dinkins. Went wide right. That was a strange-looking shot there from Trey Dinkins. Now Davidson with possession. Now Joses against Edwards at the top for Hurlburt. Over for LaPut. But look to Joses. Instead finds Hurlburt. Takes the handoff with Durkin. Leaves it for LaPut. LaPut fakes the 3 at the top. 5 to shoot. Here's Durkin going all the way to the basket. Durkin draws a foul with 1 second left on the shot clock. And it'll be what we presume is a 1-and-1 coming up out of this official's timeout. Where the Cats have turned a 12-point deficit down. And it is a 1-and-1 foul shot situation here for Durkin. Durkin to the line where he is an 84.6% foul shooter. Makes his first. He'll get the second.
Durkin kind of makes his name as a sharpshooter, known for his three-point shooting ability, but that time creating off the drive and able to hit both free throws as well.
He didn't swish either of them, but was able to use the rim to his advantage to make both free throws. It's back to a 1-point game. The Dukes have had the lead for the last 10-plus minutes. This is Dinkins. Over for Crawford. Back to Dinkins at the top, watched by Locknane. Now Ronsky against LaPut with 7 to shoot. Ronsky hands it off at the wing to Crawford. He's watched by Hurlburt, has it for Dinkins. Dinkins with a wild shot as the shot clock expires off the bracket. Ronsky tries to tap it out, but it falls in the hands of Locknane. And Davidson with the opportunity to take the lead in this possession.
Good defense that time by the Wildcats, forcing Duquesne into a last-second 3 from deep.
Now it's Durkin on the baseline, backing in against Rozier. A turnaround shot, can't give the Cats the lead. Beret comes in for the rebound and draws the foul against Zach LaPut. So LaPut called for his first foul. Kane has not scored in the last 157. Maximus Edwards back into the ball game for Duquesne along with Jashawn Corbett, Crawford, and Ronsky. Back to the bench. Hurlburt leaves, and Reed Bailey checks back in for Davidson. Rozier is able to gather it as the Cats show off some pressure into the front court for Corbett, who has a game-high 11 points off 5 of 7 from the field. Now Rozier, watched by Kuchera. Dinkins set up a screen. Rozier now tries to go to his left. To Dinkins. Beret back to Dinkins with 5 to shoot. Dinkins spins around, leaves it for Edwards. Long 3 on the way. It's short. Beret tries to tap for the rebound. It's gathered by Corbett. Couldn't get the putback to go. Third chance for Edwards, and he makes the Cats pay. Maximus Edwards with 7 points off the bench.
Too many chances there if you're the Davidson Wildcats. Good job by the Dukes hitting the offensive boards.
Now it's LaPut all alone in the corner. Fans call him to shoot. Doesn't get it to go. Almost thought I was watching a power play here with the fans calling for a shot. At the other end, we have a foul called on Davidson as Edwards quickly charged up the floor. Right now discussing who the foul should be called on. Looks like they got Locknane. So Locknane called for his first. Davidson unable to get over the hump and at least tie or take the lead.
That time Bailey was under the basket, tried to pass it back to the top of the key. The Dukes found a way to pick that off and go the other way.
Corbett off the inbound, matching up against LaPut. The ball rolled off his leg, but they called the foul on LaPut. That'll be a second. That might have been a bit of a bailout there. So Hunter Adam will check in. LaPut will take his seat with those 2 fouls in the final 68 seconds to go in the half. As Dinkins, Kuchera matched up against him on the inbound, finds Corbett. And now Rozier. Lockname chases after him, over to Wronski. Wronski through traffic. Wronski high over, cut around him and in. Wronski's shown some nice things off the bench. She's got 7 points. And the Duquesne lead is back to 5. Davidson hasn't scored in 2:15. Here's a 3 from Kuchera. Too strong. Bailey tries to chase down the rebound. He's able to gather it. Now Kuchera fakes the 3, then drives against Edwards. Spins around with a turnaround shot that's short. And Wronski scoops up the board for Duquesne.
Duquesne calling for one shot. Just a couple seconds between the shot clock and game clock, but effectively, can they play this right, can hold for the final shot.
Now we'll pick things up with 20 to go as Rozier hands off to Corbett on top of the DC logo at center court. Here's Corbett trying to drive against Adam. Corbett quickly up, draws the foul, shot doesn't fall. So Corbett will get 2 free throws. He's 0 for 1 from the line so far, entered the day a 40% foul shooter. Hunter Adam called for his first foul.
Corbett's going to the line. He's really upset about something.
I'm not sure what he was upset about there. He was frustrated with his teammates. And Corbett makes his first free throw. Edwards returns to the bench. Crawford back in for the Duquesne. Corbett will get one more. Try and give the Dukes a 7-point lead here in the final seconds of the first half. And he does not. Kuchera the rebound. Kuchera with 4. Into the front court. Kuchera underneath to Adam. Lays it in before the horn. And that'll give the Cats some momentum going into the locker room. But the Dukes, thanks to some strong shooting early on, enjoy a 4-point lead at halftime on the road. As Duquesne will have the ball to start this second half. Wearing all blues against the Cats in all whites. Nice crowd on hand here at Belk Arena. First game of 2025 for both of these teams. As it's Duquesne basketball going camera left as we see it here inside Belk Arena. Here's Corbett, who has a game-high 12 points to Crawford. Watched by LaPut, bounce pass to Corbett. Double team, finds Beret all alone. He lays it in, able to take advantage of that double team and find the open man.
Outstanding find by Corbett that time.
Beret with 4, Corbett with 2 assists. Duquesne with a 6-point lead. Here's LaPut at the elbow, back to Kuchera. Kuchera trying to drive against Corbett. Kuchera still backing in. Finds Lockney at the top, now Durkin. He's been quiet since hitting a pair of 3s early on. Bounce pass to Bailey, and the hook shot good after the find by Bobby Durkin.
Good find by Corbett on one end, good find by Durkin on the other. Bailey did a good job slicing in and just finding an opening in the defense.
Bailey, the first Wildcat in double digits with 11 points. Now Beret at the top. Corbett whips a pass to Dinkins. Shot on the way is short. The rebound to Wronski, who stepped on the baseline and turns it over to Davidson.
Corbett really showing the kind of court vision he has. That time just firing a pass cross court to Dinkins. Got the open look, just unable to knock it down.
Now here's Kuchera into the front court. At the top for LaPut. Now Lockney on the wing, over for Bailey. Bailey turns around, and a shot was short against Beret. Couldn't get it over him, and the Dukes take it the other way with a 4-point lead. It's Dinkins. Back to Wronski. Wronski drives into the paint. The shot rattles off the back iron. LaPut with the rebound. Quickly charges into the front court. LaPut, bounce pass to Kuchera, and the reverse is in for Kuchera. Has a second bucket of the afternoon and puts the Cats within 2.
And that's 2 guys that are just in sync. LaPut with his head up. He and Kuchera made eye contact. Kuchera cut. LaPut found him.
Now here's Beret. Was fouled as he hit the deck. And they give it to Bobby Durkin, his second. So Manny Joses, or rather, sorry, Trey Dinkins the third. Set to toss it back in for Davidson. Against Davidson, I should say. And now here's Beret. Hands off to Dinkins. Dinkins crossing over against Kuchera. Now to Crawford. Crawford with 10 to shoot, uses the screen from Beret. Whips it past to Corbin underneath, and he lays it in off the glass. Right now, Duquesne doing a good job of sharing the basketball. 10 assists off 18 made field goals.
That time Crawford with a great find. Impressed by the Duke's passing ability today.
Now LaPut all the way to the hoop, lays it in, +1, and he'll go to the line for the three-point play.
LaPut just slicing through the lane that time. He can play through contact, very physical player, and a good finish.
Wronski called for the foul, his second. An opportunity to put Davidson within a point. Zach LaPut looks to hit double digits in this game. And he does. He's got 10 points. The Duquesne lead down to 1. Here's Dinkins of Duquesne. Cross court to Corbett. Now Corbett between the circles, watched by Kuchera, over to Dinkins. Dinkins uses the screen from Beret to Corbett around the arc. Wronski. Fires the pass to Dinkins. Dinkins tried to go to the lane. Over to Corbett with 5 to shoot. Corbett the runner, and he swishes it through. Good touch from Deshaun Corbett, who's got a game-high 16 points.
Tough runner on the run, but Corbett able to finish, and there's Bailey.
And Bailey with the reverse, and he'll go to the line to try and tie the score. They got Chabi Beret for a second.
Back and forth we go. This time Bailey attacking. Had a step on his man. Beret just unable to get there.
Here's Bailey to the line to try and complete the three-point play. He does not, misses the free throw. And again, the Cats can't seem to tie or take the lead here. Duquesne's had the lead since the 12:59 mark. There's Dixon, unable to finish at the rim, bothered a little bit by Bailey. Davidson an opportunity to take the lead in this possession. It's Durkin. Durkin to the hoop, rejected by Dixon and out of bounds. It'll stay with Davidson.
Dixon doing a nice job coming over to help on Durkin. Appeared to maybe get poked in the eye, but seems to be okay.
Kuchera finds LaPut off the inbound. Attacking against Crawford, spins around through traffic. Now Dirk at the top, around to Kuchera. Thought about the three, doesn't pull the trigger, but he finds LaPut for the deuce underneath. And Davidson takes their first lead since 12:59 of the first half.
We talked about it a lot already today, but Kuchera and LaPut just seem to be on the same page. And that time, Kuchera finding LaPut with a beautiful backdoor pass. It doesn't take a lot to get space. He just had a step on his man, but that's enough.
And they blew the whistle because Crawford came down on the play, and they allow a substitute. As Kareem Rozier enters for Duquesne. Here's Corbett backing in against LaPut, gets around LaPut. The hook shot falls short. LaPut grabs the rebound. LaPut quickly to the front court to Kuchera, fakes the three, started the drive. Now it's Bailey in the high post. Bailey spins around, watched by Dixon. He attacks against Dixon. Bailey to the rim, lays it in off the window, and Davidson's up by 3.
A little bit of a clear out for Bailey at the top. And he is just really tough to stop off the dribble.
No timeout as we're in under 16. As Coach Joyce has let him play. Davidson on a 9-2 run. Here's Corbett. Fans getting loud once again here at Belk Arena. Wadsky fakes the three, then steps in. Back to Dinkins at the top. Dinkins starts the drive. Dinkins against Durkin. Dinkins turnaround shot. Rattles out. And Bailey the rebound. Here's Locknane ahead to Durkin. Three on the way. Bullseye! Bobby Durkin tickles the twine. A 12-2 Davidson run.
Incredible swing by Davidson. That time Locknane passing ahead to Durkin, who just got lost in transition. Duquesne unable to pick him up, and Durkin's going to hit that shot 9 times out of 10.
So Corbett does what Coach Joyce wanted to. That's called 7 of 9 out of the locker room since the beginning of the second half, and they've made it a 6-point lead against Duquesne.
Just getting some really good shots. Davidson basketball at its peak right there. Bobby Durkin hitting a 3 in transition. Bailey attacking, and then a backdoor pass to LAPUT.
Bailey leading the way with 15 points. LAPUT with 12, Durkin with 11. It's Corbett with 16 leading the way for Duquesne. It's actually Corbett who called the timeout that led us to this media break. That three does not go from the right wing for Rozier. For the rebound to Dixon, and a steal by Durkin. Cats on a 12-2 run. Durkin into the front court. Across to Locknane. Now Kachera blows through Rodsky. Reverse lay-in, good at one. And he'll go to the line for a three-point play to continue this Davidson run to 14-2.
They're going to wipe off that.
Not count, so it remains a 6-point lead for Davidson, 50-44 off the third foul on Matusz Ronsky.
Yeah, and 2 of those buckets from Bailey in that 9-0 run. And a backdoor to LAPUT and a 3 from Durkin. See if Davidson can extend that run.
Well, here's Durkin across to Kachera. Now Locknane. And he finds a cutting Durkin underneath, fakes and lays it in. Good fake by Durkin to get the defender to bite. And the easy lay, and it's an 8-point Davidson lead, their largest of the afternoon.
Davidson doing a good job with the backdoor buckets today, and those are demoralizing. You're getting easy baskets at the rim, and the defense knows they've been beaten.
11 points in a row for Davidson as part of an 18-4 run. Here's a 3 to try and end the run. That's short for Maximus Edwards. Beret goes for the rebound and a tie-up. And on the jump ball, the possession arrow goes back to Davidson. And Davidson will try and continue this run. Cats 8 of 10 from the field in the second half. Duquesne 3 of 11. Locknane across to LAPUT. Back to Locknane, over for Bailey. Durkin, corner 3 is short, and Edwards skies for the board for Duquesne. Duke's in desperate need of a bucket here. Rozier, and Corbett mishandles the pass. It goes into row 2, and a turnover for Duquesne.
Just an unforced error that time by the Dukes. High pass. Corbett probably could have had that one.
Here's Bailey. Watched by Dixon. Over to LAPUT. He tried to drive. He was cut off by Edwards. Now Kachera to Locknane. Over to Bailey. Backing in on Dixon. Turns around. Hook shot off the glass and in. That's hard to defend. And Reed Bailey with 17 points off 7 of 10 from the field.
That's 13 straight points for Davidson. Bailey right in the middle of all of it. And just that's textbook Reed Bailey right there. Moving his defender one way, going the other, and finding a way to finish.
Now here's Crawford. Duquesne has not scored in over 4 minutes. Corbett backing in against Locknane. Check that. Backed in against Kachera. And Kachera forces the turnover after the miss by Corbett. And the Cats with an opportunity to extend this 13-0 run.
Duquesne really out of sync offensively right now. You feel like Davidson has a lot to do with that, but the Dukes need to find a way to get an easy bucket and try to get back in this.
And try and get some stops on the defensive end, as Davidson's 9 of 12 from the field here in the second half, 75%. Duquesne just 3 of 12. Here's Durkin to the front court. LAPUT and Kachera check down Adam and Blooms into the game as Blooms has it now. Bailey has the pass swatted away by Crawford. Crawford ahead to Corbett. Tried to fake. Gets double teamed. Now Edwards over for a three by Crawford, and that ends the run. Much needed three for Duquesne as it was sunk home by Cam Crawford.
Crawford started that play with the steal and gets the three on the other end of it. A big bucket for the Dukes. See if they can get back in this. The way this game has gone, both teams have fought back and overcome deficits. So let's see how it goes from here.
Davidson had scored the previous 13 prior to that three. Here's Lockney to answer. He will not. It's wide left. Rebound for Adams, who is all on top of. Member of the Davidson Athletic Department, alum, former football coach. Dave Fagg passed away at the age of 88. What a great ambassador for Davidson College he was.
Absolutely. Did a little bit of everything, including what we're doing right here. Was a color analyst for Davidson football for many years on the radio. Coach Dave Fagg wore a lot of hats here at Davidson. He'll be missed.
Durkin saves it. And now Adam over to Blooms, who spins around. Blooms at the free throw line, finds Bailey in the hook shot, rattles out. Fans were hoping for goaltending there, but didn't get the call. The Davidson bench called for it as well. We'll see if Duquesne can take advantage. Now it's Maximus Edwards over for Rozier. Watched by Adam. Wronski sets up the screen. Rozier uses it. The bounce pass was fumbled momentarily by Crawford over to Wronski. Wronski with a mid-range that falls off the hands of Adam and bounces to Wronski. Rozier from the right lane. Can't make the triple. And Blooms the rebound for Davidson.
Nothing easy for Duquesne on the offensive end right now. What a difference a half can make. They looked really good early and right now just out of sync.
Now here's Durkin for Blooms. Blooms driving against Wronski. Back at the top for Blooms and a foul, or so I should say back at the top for Durkin with a foul called. They give it to Eli Wilborn. That's his third foul. Well, Wilborn has only been on the floor for 4 minutes. He's picked up 3 fouls. He'll remain on the floor with 3 fouls as Dinkins returns to the game for Cam Crawford. Durkin inbounds to Bailey. Now Adam against Edwards. Over to Bailey. Wilborn matches up against him. Locknane pulls the trigger on the 3. Oh, that was halfway down and out. The iron unkind. Rozier to Edwards. Edwards against Durkin. Lays it in off the glass. Good use of the window for Maximus Edwards. And the Dukes pulled it within 5.
5-point game with 10 to go. A tough shot by Edwards. Much needed by Duquesne.
Now Davidson hasn't scored in over 3 minutes. Here's Bailey. Bailey against Wilborn. Bailey kicks it out for a 3. Bullseye again. Roberts Blooms with Davidson's 8th three-pointer.
Blooms, welcome to A10 basketball. A lot of people seeing him for the first time now, tuning in to conference games. Freshman from Latvia. He is fearless. He'll shoot it. Any shot that he likes. And that was a good one right there. Good find by Bailey.
Look at 3+ minute scoring streak. Edwards misses on the 3 dead on. And now here's Durkin. Over to Bailey. Locknane on the wing. Blooms straight on 3. Give him 2 in a row. Roberts Blooms 6 points. Davidson up by 11.
I'll just repeat what I said last time. He's a confident young man. You can just see it. He has the it factor, and he's fitting in really well in this Davidson offense. A great 3-point shooter.
11 points, the largest lead of the afternoon for Davidson. Now Edwards over to Rozier. Here's Dinkins. Dinkins against Locknane, and Blooms tried to reach in. He's going to get called for the foul. Actually, it won't be. It's going to be Locknane with a hold on the way towards the paint against Dinkins. So Locknane called for the foul a second.
Davidson shooting 47% from 3-point range. Entering this game, Duquesne was the worst three-point defensive team in the conference, statistically allowing teams 36% shooting, and Davidson was the best three-point shooting team. So you knew those factors were going to factor in. And right now, it seems like all of Davidson's three-pointers are coming in back-to-back possessions, 2 or 3 at a time.
Davidson now 9 of 19 from beyond the arc. Here's Wilborn underneath, draws the foul against Hurlburt. So Hurlburt picks up his first personal, and 2 foul shots coming up for Eli Wilborn. Talking about Duquesne, they started hot out of the gates, 5 of 8 from three-point land. Since then, they're 1 of 11 from downtown.
And a lot of the shots just seem to be rushed or out of rhythm, and you got to give Davidson some credit for making Duquesne work on the offensive end.
Here's Eli Wilborn, 5 for 15 from the line this year. Makes his first. Sean Corbett back into the game from Latush Ronsky. Wilborn will get one more free throw to try and cut this into single digits. And he makes that. Wilborn, who had his struggles from the line prior to those attempts, 5 of 15, makes both of his free throws. Important free throws for Duquesne as they get it to within 9. LAPUT will inbound. Duquesne showing off some pressure. Loughnane against Dinkins, crosses over against him. It's into the front court. At the top, Hurlburt. Takes the handoff of Kuchera and leaves it for Loughnane. Back to Hurlburt. Hurlburt coming in strong with a layup. Couldn't get it to go. Gets his own rebound. Lost the ball. And it's taken away by Edwards. Bounce pass ahead to Dinkins. Now Edwards. Watched by LAPUT. Over to Dinkins on the wing. Edwards. Dinkins. Now Rozier on the attack. Back to Edwards. Edwards into the paint. The lay-in. Oh, it rolls out. Ball's loose. And eventually Dinkins saves it, but into the hands of Roberts Blooms. A couple of tough misses at each end for both these teams. Now Blooms watched by Edwards at the top for Hurlburt. Over to LAPUT. Loughnane over to Hurlburt underneath. Two-hand slam for the North Dakotan. Gerald Hurlburt elevates. And did they give him a technical for hanging on the rim?
They did.
Yep, they did.
I think it was, and you feel for Hurlburt. I mean, it's a big play for him, and he's just excited. He's not really trying to do much with it, but that's how it goes. So one shot here.
So Trey Dinkins, a 77% free throw shooter to the line. And is short on the free throw.
So now they'll inbound where they normally would have.
Yeah, so that it ends up not hurting Davidson. Well, lesson learned, I'm sure, for Gerald Hurlburt. It'll be Duquesne basketball down by 11, 7:25 to go. As Dinkins takes up the floor. By the way, that technical on Hurlburt gave him the second personal foul. Reed Bailey checked in during that media timeout. Here's the three on the way. That splashes down for Rozier. Duquesne within 8. Rozier on the board with his first triple. Now Kuchera all the way to the rim. Oh, he just got enough English on it. He'll let it fall off the bracket and in.
Kuchera just had Corbett on his hip. We talked earlier, he's just crafty enough. He knows how to get the ball to the basket. And that was textbook for Kuchera right there.
7 for Kuchera. Rozier just saves it from getting into the out-of-bounds area. Almost a walk. Dixon underneath. Lays it in over to LAPUT. The teams trade baskets here under 6.5 minutes to play. Davidson by 8 with the basketball. Here's Loughnane. Blooms cuts to the top. Back to Loughnane, fakes on the three, and picks up his dribble. Calls Blooms over to the wing. Blooms looking for his third three, too strong. On the rebound, Dixon skies for it. The retained possession for Duquesne. Dukes need to string together some baskets here as we fall towards 6 minutes left to play in regulation. Here's Dinkins. Watched by Bailey over to Rozier. Locknane on him. Dixon sets up the screen. Rozier starts to drive. His runner falls short. Locknane the long rebound. Cats have numbers the other way. Bailey. Bloom's three. Too strong. That might have been too quick of a shot there with numbers. Now Corbett. He's been the hot hand. Nice move to the rim past LAPUT. Corbett with a game-high 18. Duquesne within 6.
Pace of this game has really picked up. It's going to be a long 5.5 minutes, a long way to go. Both teams within striking distance of a win here. 6-point game.
It's been a fun one here so far in the second Atlantic 10 game for both these teams. Here's Bailey. Has it rejected by Dixon? No, they call the foul. Barely hear the whistle there. Dixon certainly did. He immediately reacted after he heard the foul. That's the third on him, as he was denied of what would have been his second block of the game. We'll see Dixon's reaction after what he thought was a clean block. So here's Reed Bailey to the line, 3 for 4 this afternoon, and he deposits his first free throw. 18 points for Reed Bailey. Blooms will take a seat. Bobby Durkin back in. Bailey will get one more to try and make it an 8-point lead for Davidson. And he does. 19 points for Reed Bailey. 8-point lead for Davidson. 66-58, under 5:10 to go. Here's Dinkins. At the top. Hence Kuchera. Over for Crawford. Crawford now on the drive against Durkin, spins around. Crawford, the fadeaway, rattles out. Second chance for Dixon, puts it in and one. Oh, Dixon stuck with it, was able to get the rebound after that ball, escaped the rim, and he'll go to the line to try and complete a 3-point play for Duquesne.
Dixon's leading rebounder on the court right now for Duquesne, and doing a good job there, crashing the boards, going back up. See if he can make a 3-point play out of it.
He's a 77% foul shooter, but he misses that 3-point play opportunity. So it remains a 6-point lead for Davidson. Some critical possessions for both these teams entering the final 4:45. Davidson with the ball up by 6. It's Locknane. Over to Bailey at the elbow. Now to Kuchera. Thought about the three, then drives towards the rim. Back to Bailey. Bailey through traffic. And has the pass stolen by Crawford. Ahead to Corbett. Corbett against Durkin. They call the foul. Is the basket going to count? Coach Joyce trying to tell his team to settle down. They're almost all on the court trying to celebrate what could have been a 3-point play. And they do count the basket. It'll be a 3-point play opportunity for Duquesne.
Corbett aggressive on the break. You get a look at it here. Not a ton of contact there. Looked like LAPUT took a swipe at him.
That's a tough break there for Davidson, because I would almost argue that the play we saw earlier where Kuchera's basket didn't count was closer to being continuation than that play was.
And Corbett likes to do kind of that Euro step, whatever you want to call it, toward the basket. They did get Durkin with the foul, his third.
Corbett with 20 points, make it 21. He's had a good touch from the line this afternoon. Compared to what he usually does, he's 2 for 4 from the line when he's a 40% foul shooter.
And that's his best scoring effort of the year in a Duquesne uniform.
21 points. It's now one possession game, 66-63. Davidson with the lead. Bailey all alone against Dixon, and the foul is called on Dixon. Again, he can't believe it. Boy, every time Dixon's been called for a whistle, he doesn't seem to think it's his fault. We'll get the replay and see if that agrees. But now Reed Bailey will go to the line to shoot 2. That's Dixon's 4th foul.
One thing you can count on with Bailey, he's going to get to the foul line.
Yeah, there's contact right before. That's certainly a foul. I think he had more of a case on the 3rd foul call than he did on the 4th one. However, Bailey misses the free throw.
They're calling him on the body on that one. He did block the shot with his arm, but a lot of body contact there.
Well, Bailey splits the free throws. It's a 4-point lead. As the fans start to get from their feet here at Belk Arena on this defensive possession. Crawford, Rozier, back to Crawford, steps outside of the arc, bounce pass to Corbett, matched up against Bailey. Corbett trying to back in, Corbett spins around, tough shot is short, Bailey the rebound. Under 4 minutes to play. Davidson by 4, and it's their number 4, Lockname with the ball. Over to Bailey. Bailey fouled by Dixon at midcourt, and he has been disqualified. That's his 5th foul, and a critical call with 3:41 left to play. The under 4. And we will now have a 1-and-1 for Reed Bailey on the line. He's got a game-high 20 points, or I should say a team-high 20 points, 8 rebounds. It's Sean Corbett who has a game-high 21 for Duquesne. Bailey 6 of 8 from the line, make it 7 of 9. That's a big free throw, as he'll get one more. So Dixon's fouled out. Matusz Wronski checked in as a result for Dixon having to leave the ball game. And Bailey makes him pay, makes both free throws, back to a 6-point lead for Davidson. Bailey with 22.
Still the 1-3-1 for Davidson. Durkin up top, Lockney working the baseline.
Wronski saves it in the corner. Now Rozier over for Dinkins, across for Rozier underneath the cutting Corbett. And fouled by Kuchera. Boy, Corbett almost made that one underneath, but Kuchera just enough. Forced him to make free throws at the line. Kuchera's 2nd foul. And Corbett will go to the line where he's 2 for 4.
And Rozier, a really good find that time. Corbett has been kind of the go-to guy today. A lot of contact there.
Corbett has got a season-high 21. Goes to the free throw line. Try and chip away at the 6-point deficit. Makes his first. Real high arc on those free throws. Again, was a 40% shooter from the line prior to today, but show to form looks much better than 40%.
Yeah, it does. You see a number like that, it jumps off the page at you, and you just kind of wonder how bad it's going to look, but he's got a pretty good stroke.
Well, I think this was a New Year's resolution to get better from the free throw line, and has looked fine. Now 4 of 6 from the charity stripe. Has built up 23 points in this game. And the Dukes within 4, 69-65. Davidson with the lead.
And they need Corbett to be a good foul shooter. He's the kind of player that's going to draw a lot of fouls. He drives to the basket. He slashes a lot. And they need him to be able to get those extra points.
Kuchera over to Bailey. Bailey straight on 3, too strong. And Beret gets the rebound. Maybe a little quick on that possession for Davidson. An opportunity for the Dukes to get it within a possession. Dinkins over to Crawford. Beret tries to set up the screen on the pick and roll. Goes to Corbett underneath, all alone. He lays it in. Like Corbett putting the Dukes on his back.
I was talking with Zach Weiss of Pittsburgh Sports Now earlier today, and he talked about Corbett being one of the most consistent players on this Duquesne team, and man, he's taken that to another level today. Consistent and just everything going through him.
LAPUT answers from the foul line with a deuce. Back to a 4-point lead for Davidson under 2.5 minutes to play. We'll see if the Dukes go to Corbett again. 10 of 17 from the field with 25 points. Rozier surveys the defense. Looks like another 1-3-1 here now. Switch to man-to-man. As Crawford's at the top. Durkin comes near him. Rozier trying to attack. Rozier almost slid. Back to Dinkins, 5 to shoot. Dinkins, and a hard screen by Beret. I think they called the foul. Yes, they called the foul on Beret. And that is a tough break for Duquesne. That's his 3rd foul.
Beret just didn't quite get set. Kuchera took the brunt of that. Seems to be okay. 6'9", 225. That'll wake you up.
Now under 2 minutes to go. It's Kuchera over to Bailey. Bailey hands off to Locknane. Back to Durkin, and an offensive foul against Reed Bailey.
Bailey smiles. I think he admits that one.
And no argument from Bailey on that one. He gets called for his 3rd foul.
Again, the pace in this game has really amped up since about the 8-minute mark. 1:45 to go.
Dinkins fumbled it initially, but finds Rozier after gathering it. Now Corbett trying to attack. Corbett with the runner lays it in. He's got 27. And the Dukes within 2.
Strong move by Corbett, and just too easy if you're Davidson to allow that right down the middle. He's been the guy all day. You have to expect that kind of move. Just too easy.
That ties a career high, a game in which he had a triple-double against East-West University while he was at Chicago State last year. Here's LAPUT, spins around, turnaround shot, gets it to go. And right now it's LAPUT and Corbett trading baskets in the late stages. Fans to their feet at Belk Arena for the final minute. Davidson by 4. Wronski baseline drive. Wronski to the rim. Rattles out. Kuchera fumbles it and managed to keep it in bounds. And Corbett. Oh, it looks like they called the timeout. No, they called an official's timeout. How about that? Wronski was down to the floor. I think Davidson caught a break there because Kuchera was very close to stepping on the baseline. But they stopped play because Wronski is now limping back to the bench. So Maximus Edwards will check back in. Boy, that's a big call here in the final minute.
Now Davidson needs to inbound, and Duquesne bringing the pressure for sure.
Duquesne does bring the pressure. Bailey, they got to take it across, and they just do it. Lockney with a second to spare. And he's fouled by Dinkins. So Duquesne over the limit. This is going to be 2 free throws coming up for Mike Lockney. Dinkins' second foul. And Lockney will go to the line to shoot a pair. Trying to add to this 4-point lead. And he does. I'll tell you what, half the crowd here on their feet at Belk Arena. They've been treated to a dandy. The first game inside of Belk Arena in 2025.
Conference season's a lot of fun.
Lockney makes them both. 6-point lead for Davidson. Under 35 seconds to go. Each team with 2 timeouts. Rozier was run into by Corbett. He picks the ball back. Corbett against LAPUT. Corbett to the basket, lays it in. He's got a career high of 29. It's a 4-point game with 24.47 seconds to go. And the timeout is called. A below-average foul shooter to try and extend this game and stay alive. Again, showing off the pressure here. Kuchera will inbound. Bailey, Durkin, LAPUT, and Lockney also on the court. Dinkins, Crawford, Corbett, Rozier, and Edwards for Duquesne. As LAPUT gets it off the inbound, he's fouled almost immediately. It's either going to be Edwards or Rozier. That's called for the foul. They'll hope it's Edwards, because that's Edwards' first. Rozier had 2. So Edwards called for the foul. LAPUT will go to the free throw line where he'll shoot a pair.
67% foul shooter.
He's 2 for 3 in this game, which lines up with 67%. Makes the first. LAPUT, the transfer from Bentley University. An outstanding career there, was a 2-time Division II All-American. LAPUT will get one more. Short on that one. So it's a 5-point game. Duquesne's got to hurry here. It's Corbett. He's been the man in the second half with a career-high 29 points. Rozier trying to take it to the rack. Turnaround shot blocked by Lockney. Corbett takes it away. Corbett with a hook shot falls out. Lockney takes it away, and he's fouled immediately. And the Cats will appear to hold their home court advantage as the fans are back on their feet at Belk Arena. Davidson is 7.7 seconds away from a 9-0 start at home.
Mike Lockney on that last sequence. Rozier goes in with a little turnaround shot. Lockney blocks it. Then Corbett gets the rebound, goes up, misses. Lockney gets the rebound. Pretty good sequence for Lockney, who will go to the foul line. He is.
And he misses the first. Lockney 2 for 2 on the line prior to that miss today.
I was going to say he's perfect for the year. He was, I guess, 5 of 5 before that.
Now 6 of 7 makes it a 6-point game. Cats will let up a little bit with under 4 seconds to go. 3 from Dinkins off the back iron, and that'll do it. Davidson, thanks to a big second half, turning what was once a 12-point deficit into a 6-point win. Davidson wins it 77-71.